Hi, everybody. Joe here from Sound Devices with Paul Isaacs, our Director of Product Design and Development. We released NoiseAssist a few weeks ago. We put out a post on social media asking for your questions. So we took the most common ones that we saw, and we're going to kind of talk about them today, get an overview for what NoiseAssist is, scenarios you can use it in, and different things like that. So thank you, Paul. Thanks for hanging out with me, talking about NoiseAssist.
Pleasure.
We can just jump right into it. So, kind of an overview. What is Noise Assist?
Okay, so NoiseAssist is actually the industry's first adaptive real-time noise suppression algorithm built directly into a mixer recorder. No additional hardware is necessary. It can be installed on any of the Sound Devices 8 series mixer recorders, and it's absolutely ideal for suppressing background noise like traffic, air conditioning, mains hum, and even reverb, whilst maintaining excellent speech clarity.
A few common questions we got. Where can I apply Noise Assist on my 8 series?
So yeah, noise assist can be applied to any ISO channel, so any individual microphone, or it can be applied to either the L bus or the R mix bus.
Someone asked, what applications can I use Noise Assist?
Okay, so really, Noise Assist is ideal for any like on-location or in-field application where there's little or no time for post-production. So think about any sort of form of live-to-air production, such as streaming or traditional broadcast, um, electronic news gathering. It's also actually really good for communication feeds on a production set, for providing clean sound to various crew members.
Mhm.
Um, and it can also be used for like a dailies mix, where for cleaner audio on a daily review in a daily review scenario.
Um, Obviously, there's a few other noise suppressors out there on the market in different forms. A question we get a lot the questions that we've gotten a lot is how does it compare to other noise suppressors on the market? And then how does it compare to the GPU based noise suppressors?
Yeah. So, there are many noise suppression tools on the market today, and some are designed for real-time applications, and others are designed for reducing noise later in post-production. So it's important to distinguish between those two things. Now, since Noise Assist is a real-time suppression tool, let's talk about how it compares to other real-time suppression tools out there. So there are essentially two types of noise suppression categories. Um, One is the dedicated hardware-based tool, like Noise Assist,
Hmm.
or then there's the fairly famous Cedar DNS2.
Hmm.
Both of these run on dedicated hardware. And then the other category is computer-based tools, like Isotope, NVIDIA's GPU-powered RTX voice, which is a recent addition to the market. And then there's also the AI-powered Crisp application. And both of those three examples that I've just given all run on a computer-based system. So, there is a lot of talk right now about these computer-based systems out there like RTX Voice and Crisp, and understandably so, because they are very, very effective at removing all types of background noise from speech. They are aimed at computer-based applications like gaming and voice over IP meetings
Hmm.
like Zoom and Google Hangout, etc.
Right.
However, they do have some serious downsides for on-location or in-field production.
Hmm.
So let's talk about some of those things. I think number one, I would mention that they have pretty high latency. And latency is the time between when you actually speak and when it's actually finished processing and recorded or transmitted.
Hmm.
Um, For example, the NVIDIA RTX voice algorithm has more than 50 milliseconds of latency, which might be fine for voice over IP applications and gaming, but when you're looking at video production, where you really require a very tight lip sync between audio and video, it's not ideal for that at all. And this is where Noise Assist shines. We have a latency of 1 millisecond.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's pretty low and very tight on lip sync. The other thing that these computer-based applications, a fairly big drawback is that they draw a lot of power, pretty large power consumption. For example, the RTX voice algorithm, when it's running, and it runs on a graphics card, so it's using GPU processing,
Hmm.
it's consumes about 30 watts of power. And that's not good when you're on location with no wall power available. So Noise Assist runs on a battery-powered system. It doesn't require wall power because it runs on the 8 series. And the 8 series can run without wall power for pretty much all day running off batteries. And you also have those, in the 8 series you have like these redundant L-mount batteries and smart batteries, which can seamlessly switch between each other. As power runs down on one, it switches to the other, so you can carry on with your production and then, swap over one of the lower batteries. So that redundancy is really important in dedicated hardware-based tools like the 8 series and Noise Assist.
Right.
The other thing is complexity. Computer-based systems have complexity and also reduced reliability. While they are impractical as portable systems, computer-based systems can be used in larger, more permanent setups. But adding a computer running software dramatically increases complexity and reduces reliability versus the dedicated hardware-based model, such as Noise Assist. You'll need not just a computer with RTX and Crisp, but you'll also need a USB audio interface if you want to use high-quality microphone. And that USB interface will also add latency of its own as well, so you're adding even more latency to the system.
Hmm.
You'll also need redundant power if there's no wall power available, and that can be a hassle to set up with a computer. So, yeah, with Noise Assist, you can simply carry the 8 series on your shoulder, plug in a mic, and you're ready to go for hours on end.
Yeah.
I just want to say also that the one thing with Noise Assist running on the 8 series is it can also be used simultaneously with auto mixing.
Yes.
We have built-in Mix Assist and Dan Dugan algorithms, and they are really useful for reducing background noise when you have a multi-mic scenario as well, because it's automatically closing mic channels which are not being spoken into.
Here's a question we got a lot. Is it better to apply Noise Assist to an isolated microphone before going into the mix, or is it better to apply Noise Assist to the entire mix?
Okay, well, either will give good results. And what you choose depends on your setup. I guess if you're dealing with 2 mics or less, since Noise Assist has 2 instances available, if you're running with 2 mics or less, it might produce better results with each instance of Noise Assist on a separate channel, independently processing an individual speech source.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's because microphone type and the microphone position will affect the input audio signal. So with Noise Assist applied to each microphone independently, it can more accurately tune in to optimize the noise suppression performance for each channel.
Okay.
Having said that, if you're using 3 or more mics, we recommend using the mix bus. But if in doubt, you can do both. You can actually have an instance running on your mix bus and then one on an ISO channel, so then you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, which is, I mean, the 8 series routing flexibility alone, 2 instances of Noise Assist is probably plenty based on all the different routing configurations that you have. So a question about usage, how much Noise Assist suppression is good to dial into a channel?
Well, again, that's going to very much be dependent on the environment. The general rule of law is apply as much as you need to make the speech have a clarity. Don't overdo it. If you overdo it, you will end up hearing artifacts.
Hmm.
And obviously, don't underdo it because you might not hear the speech so clearly. We default the amount of suppression to 6 dBs.
Hmm.
And so tweak from there to get the best results. Currently, I'm actually speaking to you with 5 dBs of suppression on my
Hmm.
voice. I've got loud air conditioning on. In fact, let me give you an idea of what that sounds like with noise suppression off. So this is suppression on, and this is suppression off. Okay, can you hear that? And now this is with 5 dBs of suppression on. Okay, so you can definitely hear a difference. I can still hear it slightly in the background, but my voice definitely cuts through that background air conditioning sound.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm actually running quite a bit more. Just outside my window here, there are 6 air conditioning units for all the apartments around mine. So I'm actually running 10 dB of suppression right now on this mic here.
Right.
And
So
that's
if I drop down to 10,
yeah,
then
it'll
you'll hear it now. It's virtually eliminated the background altogether. You know, you should really just experiment to get the best effect. And you can use it also to reduce the amount of reverb in a reverberant space.
yes, yeah. It is kind of like EQ in there. You want to use as little as you can get away with.
Yeah, like any form of processing is like that, but it can be a lifesaver in certain situations.
Which was actually a question we got more than a few times. Can noise assist be used with the 8 series EQ?
Yes, it can be used actually with any other form of processing. So EQ, as I mentioned before, auto mixing. Yeah, it's all there.
Um, Someone had a question. They said that they do both production sound and post production. They're wondering if they could do 2 separate mixes, one with noise reduction and one without.
Yes, absolutely. And that's an important thing because obviously posts prefer to have clean audio where they can. They've got a vast range of tools to tweak and make improvements to and enhancements to audio. So yes, you can. You can apply make the L bus, for instance, processed with noise assist and the R bus clean,
Hmm.
or vice versa. And that's with mono mixes, which oftentimes is what's all that is delivered for dialogue. However, if you're working with a stereo mix, what you can do is you can route your your clean left-right stereo mix,
Hmm.
and you can route that to a couple of spare channels on your 8 series. And you know there's a lot of channels available on the 8 series machines, so you can essentially route your LR clean stereo mix to any of the outputs, and then take a connecting cable. I typically use the X7, X8 output because it's a 3.5 mil unbalanced 3.5 mil connector, and I just connect that into the return B port. It's right next to it, so it's a little looped cable, and then I route the RTN returns to a channel and then process those channels with noise assist, and then
Okay.
I can record those separately. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
Great. Um, we had a question. Can noise assist reduce unstable sounds as a group of people in the background or street noise or anything with a fluctuating impulse?
Right. So noise assist is optimized for slowly changing background noise like traffic, air conditioning, reverb spaces, things like that. Having said that, it may still help with reducing, say, general level street noise
Hmm.
to make the speech more intelligible. However, if you're looking for it to remove or reduce dog barking sounds or car horns going off, impulse sounds like that, it's not it's not for that.
Hmm. So, as you know, anyone who's been in a big city, the crowd noise kind of swells and goes by a little bit, but it's
Yeah,
it is sort of more slow. It won't put who you're trying to record in a bubble, but it'll
right.
definitely kind of cut
It, it
back.
it will definitely help. I mean, I was in a not a situation like that, but I was in a similar situation like that in my backyard where I've got a pond with lots of crickets and frogs making a huge amount of noise at night. And although it didn't eliminate those sounds, it cleaned up a lot of just the general ambience around it so that my speech was still intelligible.
Good. That's great. So this question actually fits nicely in with that. They're asking about reverberant spaces. They're asking if a change in the reverb tail will be audible or yeah. They're asking essentially how much reverb tail, because we say noise assist, you said needs about 5 to 10 seconds to kind of identify the noise and then start suppressing it. And in a very reverberant room, that may change.
If there is a sudden change in the background noise, for the noise assist to fully adapt to it, it could take somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds. But you have to remember that noise assist is continually, fluidly adapting and learning. So if it's a slow changing background, like a slowly changing reverb tail, you're not like starting from scratch. And
Okay.
so it's not going to be like 5-10 seconds. As soon as every sort of bit of background noise changes, you're going to have to wait. It doesn't work like that because it's continually adapting. But if there is a really extreme change in characteristic, you are more likely to hear that adaptation process. But it's been designed in such a way to adapt as invisibly as possible.
Great. Yeah, I think that was a point of confusion that maybe a few people had, is that the noise suppression is constantly adapting.
Yes,
So
it is definitely always adapting in real time.
which tails nicely into our next question as well. They're asking if there's any limitation in that 5 to 10 seconds using it on a boom. So if you have a single boom op and they're moving between two talent sources, they're wondering if noise assist will have any effect because it is moving microphone position and therefore proximity to whatever is causing that background noise.
Yeah, it's a similar sort of thing. As I said, the 5 to 10 second adaptation time is not starting from scratch every time a background noise changes. It's fluidly and constantly learning and adapting in real time. Of course, if there is an extreme change in the background noise characteristic, the adaptation time will take longer and is more likely to be perceived. But in this scenario of two speakers who are in fairly close proximity, which they will be if it's a boom swinging type application, the background noise changing characteristics will be fairly subtle, and noise assist will handle that pretty well and seamlessly.
Great. A question: if they can expect any updates on noise assist, and they're wondering if there are updates, will they have to pay again?
Well, if there are any improvements to the algorithm, they will not have to pay again. No, it'll be free of charge.
And then a lot of 6 series users were asking as well if it'll come to the 688, 633, anything like that.
Sadly, no. The 6 series hardware architecture doesn't support the ability to port it. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure the 8 series was designed going forward with things like noise assist in mind.
The 8 series, yeah.
Yeah,
The 8
right. It
series
was
very much, yeah.
That actually takes care of all the questions that people seem to had coming on social media. So
Okay.
check out Noise Assist. We'll put a link in there. We do have quite a few demo examples on our website. I know it's getting into more and more people's hands, and they're putting up demo files as well, which is really, really great. Thank you all for submitting your questions on social media. It was really great. I'd like to thank Paul for hanging out, chatting with me, and
Yeah. Thanks, Joe.
kind of shedding some more light on Noise Assist. So thanks,
Awesome. Yes,
everybody.
thanks for all your questions, and have a good day.